The details can be found on our website. Board members are expected to attend in person unless they have specific health issues or extraordinary circumstances, then they're on Zoom. But our members who are on Zoom must show their face to participate. The members of the public can come here. We have limited space here in the office, but most community people are on Zoom. And as you heard, this meeting is being recorded. It's on our YouTube channel. And you're gonna have a transcript. And if you wanna really if you enjoy the meeting and you wanna revisit it, you can go to the YouTube. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Bert Lazarus, I'm co-chair.
I'm Frank Halazugian, the other co-chair.
Inga Ivchenko, member.
James McDonald, member.
Ted Arenas, member.
Thomas Garza, member.
Tina Nelson, member.
Alan Oster, member.
Greg Morris, member.
Okay, we have a quorum.
And online.
Oh, yes, online.
Mike
Carrie
Noble,
Keenan.
member.
It's
I got you again, Carrie.
That happens every time.
I know.
Yes.
I'm such a gentleman.
Okay,
Somebody brought this soup and onion. Because I was
Okay.
going to last until 4 o'clock.
and we have another BLT member who just walked in. Introduce yourself, please.
Christine Merte, member.
Christine Berthet. Okay, we have an agenda tonight, which we divide into new licenses, new applications for wine, beer, and cider. We have applications of existing facilities that want to change their method of operation. And then we have applicants who just want wine, beer, and cider. Then we have applicants who are asking for sidewalk or roadway facilities, which will not actually appear until April. Okay? So let's move down the agenda.
All right, so just a couple things. As I think everyone knows, this committee and indeed the community board has no power to grant or deny any kind of license. This committee will make a recommendation to the full board, which will then vote on our recommendations at its next meeting on March 5th. But again, the full board will only make a recommendation to the state liquor authority for liquor licenses or Department of Transportation for roadway dining. If you want to be heard directly with those agencies, they have procedures for you to submit your views on that. Before we start, I also wanted to brief the committee. Christine and I did our first Department of Transportation hearing today in support of our opposition to the Empire Diner Sidewalk Café. It was not the most rewarding hearing format in the world. It's basically like the public sessions of the full board meeting, but that's it. There's nothing interactive about it. There's one DOT person that we know of on the Zoom. He calls the agenda. He asks people to raise their hand. He goes, okay, Frank, you're on. You have 3 minutes. Thanks, Frank. Christine, you're next. Thank you, Christine. Anybody else want to speak on that? No, we'll move on to the next one. And that's it. So it's basically a lot of people making their own private remark, their own prepared remarks and nothing, no back and forth or anything. And I think, I probably saw 20 people present and the applicant was only there for one of them, or we only spoke at one of them.
Right.
There was mostly a community board representative and one or two community members, but that's about it.
And you had mentioned to me, Frank, before that we don't know how DOT ends up.
Right, we're gonna have to find out, when they roll now, and hopefully, if they weren't on this Zoom, they listened to what everyone had to say. All right,
Not encouraging.
let's get started.
Okay.
But then the next step, if we don't like what they said, is we go to our elected official.
Yeah.
to our council member,
Yeah.
so that's new.
So the procedure is,
You get a fund.
yeah, for sidewalk cafes, the procedure is, once the DOT makes a decision, they have to notify the council member. And then the city council has to decide what to do, and if they decide, to approve, if they decide not to object, it then goes on to the mayor. But the next step, at least for sidewalk cafes, is the city council.
And if the city council member objects,
No, it actually has to be a majority of the whole city council.
So our member brings it to the council.
Yeah,
they're really gonna be voting on
Yeah, they do, they used to do,
it?
sidewalk cafe,
On the sidewalk cafes.
yeah,
Mhm.
wow,
Well,
Yeah.
was silly, but.
Okay, let's proceed then. On the agenda, we first have a group of new wine, beer, and cider license applications. The first one is 405 West 23rd Street, the Chelsea Pantry Corporation. It has hours of operation of 7 AM to 9 PM, Sunday through Thursday, 7 AM to 11 PM, Friday and Saturday. Is the applicant here?
We can't see anybody on the screen.
that's what someone speaks.
Nellie, is the applicant here?
I do not see them on, no.
Shall we come back to them?
Well, let's give them an opportunity, we'll come back to them. Second item on the agenda is 411 8th Avenue. JGSteaks LLC. Hours of operation, 11 AM to 12 AM, 7 days a week. Anthony, are you representing them?
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Go
Great to
ahead.
meet you tonight. Thanks for having us. My name is Anthony Caraballo. I have the applicant with me, Giacomo Pisano. Sorry for the ringing phone, my apologies. And we're filing for a beer and wine license at 411 8th Avenue. Recorded music only, no outdoor seating. The hours of operation, 11 AM to 12 AM. It's a small establishment, 14 tables, 28 seats. There is a food counter with 8 seats. And Giacomo has several of these. They're called G's Cheesesteaks. We just recently obtained approval in Manhattan Community Board 3 at 6th Avenue B. He's operating there, and he plans on doing several in Manhattan as well. Again, it's only beer and wine. It's a pretty small establishment. We'd be glad to address any questions the committee may have.
I have as far as, according to your application, as far as we can tell, this hasn't been previously licensed, correct?
Correct.
What kind of building is it in? What's immediately above, your client's, premises? Do you know?
Yeah,
Is it a
Jack,
commercial?
can you answer that, Jack?
See here?
Yes, hi, Anthony. Sorry about that. What was that?
The building, can you describe the type of building?
Yeah, so
What's
it's
the
second in from the corner. There's 0 upstairs as far as like apartments. It's vacant upstairs. And it's a double door storefront.
Is it a residential building though, or is it commercial, or can you tell?
It's residential but vacant.
Okay.
Okay, any other additional questions from the committee?
They're not going to have music, right?
Background music.
Yeah, background, no outdoor seating.
From committee members on Zoom, Terry? Mike, questions?
Nope.
Okay, anybody from the community now?
There's no one with a raised hand.
Okay,
Oh, I
go ahead, Tina.
just one question. You say there's background music. I just want to make certain, when you refer to staff member responsible for monitoring the sound level of the speakers streaming music. Oh, yeah, it says low background level. Okay, I just saw speakers and I was
Mhm.
concerned.
You got your, you
Where
got
are
the
the
answer.
speakers?
Yeah, I got the answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Where, yeah, where are your speakers attached? Are they attached to the ceiling?
Yes, they'll be attached to the ceiling.
Okay, so you should probably not do that.
Okay, we're just concerned about, I know there's no one upstairs now, but someone may live there. So if they're near if they're near the ceiling, they're likely to bother anyone who moves in above, so. You might,
So we actually, so we own the building and we don't have any plans on anyone moving upstairs anytime
you
soon.
own the building?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's the reason it's vacant.
yeah, okay.
Yes, correct, yes.
No,
Yeah. All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, no worries,
There's
anytime.
the explanation. Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor?
aye,
Carrie?
Aye, sorry. I
Okay.
think you could see me, but you can't.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
you
you. Opposed, present not eligible, abstaining. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Take care now.
Our next group of two are those existing establishments who want to change their method of operation. Okay, number 3 is 859 9th Avenue, Riseborough.
Hello, Bert. Hello, everybody. Donald Bernstein.
Hi.
I'm here for Ted Arenas, who's sitting next to you. So this change in method of operation, the genesis of this was that Ted had an event, a special event in December that was on a weekday. So you probably recall that his approved hours are 2 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday and 4 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and when Monday is a holiday and certain holidays, he has 4 a.m. So this special event for the holidays occurred midweek, and we went to the State Liquor Authority to get permission to go from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. that night. We also spoke to CB4 about that, and you guys had no objection to that. And during the course of those discussions, including our meeting at the State Liquor Authority, in fact, Chair Fan said, why don't you just apply for 4 a.m. 7 days? That way you don't have to come back to us if you have these events. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be applying to extend to 4 a.m. 7 days, but understand, and I think Ted can speak to this, the plan is not necessarily to stay open until 4 a.m. 7 days a week, but it gives him the option in case he has special programming. In this one instance, it was a Mariah Carey impersonator who was coming to Rise Bar when Mariah Carey was performing at the Barclays Center. So there'll be some special nights that Ted wants to have the ability to stay open until 4 a.m. So that is what the application is for, and it is also to delete the no dancing prohibition and to allow dancing from time to time at the Rise Bar. He met with the 2 block associations, Steve Belita and another block association. Ted tells me that they both support this application. He has gotten the support from everybody in his building that lives there that he has been able to contact, and I believe that you have copies of those, or he's given those to the community board office.
okay,
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments, committee members?
Nellie, anyone have their hand raised on this?
Yes, I have one person, Andrew Goldstein.
Bring them over.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Sorry about
can.
that. Hi, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say I was at the Block Association with Steve Belita for HK 49 to 54, and we supported the RISE application.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Always nice to hear positive feedback.
Yes,
Motion. Second.
all those in favor? Opposed?
aye.
Present not eligible?
Right here.
Oh, really? And those abstaining. Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody. Good night. Thank you.
Thanks, Donald, good night.
See you next time. Good night.
Okay, next we have 201 8th Avenue, OC 8th Avenue LLC. Maston, I guess that's you, I saw you here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening, members. My name is Maston Sampson. I'm the attorney for the applicant. Evan Stein is here. Looks like he just arrived home. And this is an application, this is OC 8th Avenue LLC doing business as Old City Cheesesteaks and Brew at 201 8th Ave. And just looking to add live music to the method of operation. Now, really, what we're looking to do is have a max of a 3-piece little, it's not a big, giant setup of live music being pumped throughout the establishment. As a matter of fact, and Evan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the musicians that come in will bring literally their own speaker and put it on the floor. So it's not going to be, reverberating throughout. Also, the current establishment operates on the first 2 floors, and the 3rd floor apparently has an individual that has remained, much to the chagrin of the landlord. Whether he's officially a squatter, I'm not sure, but it sounds like it. Because the landlord has offered the applicant the 3rd floor to use it as an office, which he's considering. So, as far as disturbing people, there is no outside area. I mean, this would be very helpful to, obviously help bring people in.
Okay. Maston, when we have live music and the kind of late hours you have here, 2 and 3 a.m., we usually ask for some kind of limits. You mentioned no more than 3 musicians. Would you be happy with a stip that said no more than 4 musicians at one time?
Absolutely. I should I should defer to Evan here, but I would think
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so we'll have a stip that says live music will be limited to no more than 4 performers at any one time. And I'll ask the committee, in light of that, do we want any kind of limitation on hours of live music too? Are we okay with that?
Well, there's not really anything above it, and there's 2 stores on either side of it. It's just the apartments that are, it looks like there's 2 apartments sort of.
Okay,
Like,
no, I was just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy with it.
They reached out to those people. I mean, those would be the ones that will be affected. The 2 that are right at the 2nd level, right, their windows are right next to it.
Yeah. What's above you?
What he said, there was 1
But
person
wasn't that on the 3rd floor?
on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at,
But
there's,
she's
it's,
talking about
it's,
2 levels.
these 2, I think,
Oh,
will
okay.
catch this noise.
Charging.
The
Right?
neighboring building.
The 2 2nd floor apartments, left and right.
Yeah, I know there have been no complaints thus far. Evan, do you know specifically?
No. So we're next to us there's one of those, sex stores next to us. And then on the other side, there's Willow, which is a
Right.
vegan restaurant. Above the sex store, I have no idea if it's occupied or not. And I can't speak to what's above Willow. But I mean, we've been playing music in there for a year and a half. We've never had any complaints. And we're just looking to put in a guy with a guitar that we've seen that he's a fantastic musician to play sing-along music for happy hour. And then we came across this 3-piece band that we would have them play from, say, 8 to 11. And it is not loud music by any means. It's more or less jazz, mood music. And we're looking to try to bring in some business because it is a very tough block between 20th and 21st on 8th Avenue. There's we deal with a lot at night. So we're trying everything and anything just to, bring in the locals.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Christine?
I just wondered if.
So I'd like to do some translation. Jazz doesn't mean quiet.
No.
We have a jazz producer and he can be very loud, all right? So I'm just.
We're not planning
I
on
think
playing
one of the concern is that you said the musicians are going to bring their own equipment. And that is a concern because then they control the level and you don't. And I think you should install a system which has a limiter where you can connect their speaker. Otherwise, it's whichever musicians is going to come and decide at what level they want to play. And,
Well,
and it has been an issue in the past. So it's a
Yeah,
recommendation for you.
There's no one above us, and I don't believe there's anyone above the store to the left of us. I don't know about Willow, but I'm fairly certain they wouldn't be able to hear anything. I'm pretty
Yeah,
So
the
you mean
confident.
you don't
manager-
want to use, you don't want to buy a limiter, a system with a limiter. Is that what you're telling us?
Well,
Well, the musicians bring in their own instruments. I don't know. I
Well,
can look
you
into
want
that
that-
for sure. I'm not against it. I can look into it for sure.
but I mean, Evan, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the manager would still control the volume, right? I mean, it'd say,
Not if they
hey,
bring
look.
in their own
it's-
amps.
No.
No, if they bring their own speaker, it's their volume. We can look, if we ever do get a complaint, we could certainly tell them to lower the music. I mean, I
But I think you want to do it before you get a complaint.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I think you wanted to have.
Yeah,
some kind of
that makes
control
sense. That makes sense.
Before you
I mean,
get the complaint.
we play our own music via, iPad through Spotify. I mean, we're pretty much in tune with the sound levels because we've been doing it since we opened. I mean, we would know if the music is too loud or not. So I don't know that.
I think the problem that she's trying to address is that if they were plugging into your current speaker system, where we know you don't have any issues, then it wouldn't be a problem. The problem is when you have musicians coming in, they could bring speakers as big as they want with as many amps. And then you really don't have any idea of how loud it's gonna be until it's already, happening. And, the community board is not gonna police this, every night, depending on who you have come in. So there's just a little bit of reassurance that Christine is asking for. If you can get your own speakers and a limiter, so we know whoever comes in, you're not at the whim of your manager or whoever's on duty.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm sure they can plug into our system. And if that makes the situation palatable, we'll do that. Yeah, I don't have any problem doing that at all. I'm not looking to go ahead. Sorry.
We'll have, would you agree then to a stipulation? Say exactly what you're saying, that they will connect to your system.
With a limiter.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
wait, can I just jump in here? Because,
Yeah.
I don't know, to me, the manager who controls the volume now would still say, and so if it gets to a certain point and it's loud enough and that's where it ends. And I feel like a manager could do that if somebody else had a speaker, be like, that's as loud as we want it. We don't want it any louder. They would dictate how loud the music should be. It's the manager's job to do that. Also, if as Evan said, I mean, if we limit the hours of music to, I mean, he even said 11.
I can confidently say, sorry, Matthew, we don't want to do this past 11 o'clock at night anyway. That's one. So, and go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, I think if you're willing to have another stip that the live music will end no later than 11 p.m. nightly, I think that deals with our concerns.
And I also just want to add, we're looking to do this once, maybe twice a month. This is not a weekly thing. So.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Nellie, anyone with a hand raised?
No, there's no one.
Okay. So we have two steps. The live music will be limited to no more than 4 performers at any one time. I'm sorry.
Live music is a show, so.
Yeah, I saw that on page 2. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we'll circle that too.
Okay.
And then the other stip now will be live. Live music will end no later than 11 p.m. nightly.
7 days a week, yeah.
Nightly.
Well,
Yeah.
he said only 1 to 2 nights.
Once you get the application, you can have a rock club 7 days a week now, till 11 p.m.
Great.
Okay, was there somebody out there? A hand up?
I said no.
Nobody in the community now? Okay, with those 3 stipulations,
Motion.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, present not eligible, abstaining. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
members.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
And now we're moving to new liquor, wine, beer, and cider licenses, full licenses. We have a group beginning with 852 9th Avenue, the Tiger Club. Hours of operation, 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Monday through Wednesday, 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. Thursday and Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday. Is the applicant here? Yes,
Yes,
Dorian,
Dorian is here. Yes, I'm here.
go ahead. Tell us about your application.
The Tiger Club, to introduce myself, I've been owning and operating.
Excuse me.
All
Good
right.
evening. My name is Frank Palillo. Hello, everybody.
That's my attorney. Sorry.
Okay.
Earning his fees.
Yeah, we didn't see a name, Frank. We didn't know you were on.
I'm really flying low under the radar, Frank. How are you all?
Okay,
Didn't know you were here.
yeah. So why don't the two of you
Decide who's talking.
collectively tell us about what's going on here?
Go ahead. Frank and Dorian, proceed.
Go ahead, Frank.
Go ahead, Dorian.
I've been owning and operating restaurants for a while in the Hell's Kitchen area for 15, 16 years plus now, with Medi Wine Bar, 9th Avenue Blue, and Giardino 54 on the 54th Street. The Tiger Club will be located literally next door to a Blue Seafood Bar, one of my restaurants. The place used to be the old hardware store for a long time. It's been vacant from for a couple of months now. Some unfortunate operation went in and out for 2-3 months. So we're trying to build a new concept restaurant on 9th Avenue that will have a continental menu, including seafood and poultry, fish, and also oysters, raw bar, similar to what we have at Blue, but also including live jazz music shows for about 4 nights a week.
Jazz. I've never seen so much jazz.
The approach on the concept it will be a sophisticated and elegant restaurant with a unique interior design. It will have live music to attract a crowd from the neighborhood, pre-shows to Lincoln Center, but also after Broadways and shows. And we are a bit up on the 9th Avenue building. The proposed operation will go into a building, one-story building. There is nothing above us. There is one commercial tenant on the south part of the store. And that's about it.
So is what's above you commercial space?
No, there is nothing there. One story.
One-story building.
Right. Frank, a couple of questions. You didn't circle any music on the form, so I take it you're gonna have background music and live music?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Recorded and live.
Right. And did you hear our prior discussion about having some kind of limits on hours and number of musicians for live music? is your client amenable to something like that here?
Frank, you know the neighborhood better than I do. Are the neighbors for us to disturb there?
Wow,
His hours are only midnight.
no, 2 a.m. on weekends.
But
Yeah.
even that's.
Okay, you know, okay, that's fine. I mean, it hasn't been licensed as far as I can
I
tell.
don't have the
Okay.
same stuff.
Tina?
I know that there's nothing above, but there is a building to the side of it. Actually, a pretty big building that the apartments sort of, like there's a courtyard from what it appears. I know this block. I mean, it has quiet restaurants, but it has apartments above the restaurants. So it's not as if, even though it's one floor, it's deceptive to say that there aren't
Because they're
people
on to
who
left
could
and
hear
right.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, even though there's an expanded sidewalk there, that sidewalk is, if you're not on the expanded part, is really, really thin, which is why we created the expanded sidewalk. And shows, I mean, people lining up, if there's any question about that. No, you don't think so? Okay, so then my biggest concern is, did you post about this meeting? And do people in that building that looks out into the court, right at the back of the building, did they receive notice?
Frank or?
I participated on the Block Association about 10 days ago.
He did, there's a lot of discussion.
I had a discussion with the members of the Block Association that evening. And that's our approach.
Did you have signs up? Did you have signs up on the premises or
Yes.
the poles around your location?
Yes, we had signs posted in front of the door and in the area.
Yeah. So what the 49th to 54 Block Association wrote to us is that in your operation at Medi, you used to keep the doors and windows open when there's music inside, and you had things like flower pots and A-frame signs, obstructions on the sidewalk. They said you'd agree both there and at the new place to keep the doors and windows closed when there's music inside and to not clutter the sidewalk. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, the design that we are preparing for the storefront doesn't even call for any openings for French doors. It's completely closed. And due to the nature of the operation, we would like to keep everything within as boutique and as warm as possible.
Okay. I see you said you're going to have an illuminated sign. What are you thinking there? Is that going to be like a neon thing?
No. Just having the name of the place with some sort of a light. We haven't finalized that, but
So it would be just like it would be a spotlight on a sign or
on the sign,
something from behind. Okay.
Can be easily identified.
Right. We have Andrew Goldstein, I think, wants to speak again. Why don't we hear from him? And then
Anybody else
decide.
want to speak first?
Yeah, I want to talk about the testimony here, and you said you were going to fix all those issues for the new place. What are you going to do for the existing?
No, he said he
No, for the old place.
He did the old place.
Both places work.
You did that?
That's what the letters. Well, Andrew's probably here to speak about it, so why don't we let him?
Andrew?
Now, can you move over, Andrew? Andrew, are you here?
Had your hand raised up before, Andrew? No, is he still here?
I saw his name up at the top for a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They made me a attendee again. I just wanted to say that basically I went to the Block Association meeting that we're talking about, and Dorian did agree to do the things that they mentioned in the letter. And overall, the Block Association was supportive of Dorian's new place, especially since the doors and the facade didn't open. So
Okay.
largely, he did agree to address the things that were mentioned, and we gave him the blessing on the new place. Right.
Was there any discussion about the live music, Andrew?
The only thing that really came up was the fact that he had no open doors or facade. It was just the front door that opened. So other than an outdoor speaker, which shouldn't be there, like, you know, if it's just a door that closes and it's closed while the music's playing, it should be fine. That's
What
kind
about
of
the back door?
What?
What about the back door? There is a back door?
There is no.
No back door.
Okay.
we didn't talk about that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
But
thank
everybody
you.
at the Block Association was supportive, other than the one little tweak on the elder operation. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Andrew.
Nellie, anyone else with the hand raised?
No, there's no one.
So does anyone on the committee have any concerns about the live music?
This is probably the ideal location for us, so.
All right.
Okay, do you have a
Anything else?
motion?
Anybody else? No? Okay.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Present not eligible and abstain. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank
Good
you.
luck,
Okay.
good luck. Okay, number 6, the next item, 489 11th Avenue, ERA Midtown. I'm sorry, 589. Thank you. Hours of operation 10 AM to 4 AM. They're asking for 7 days a week. Applicant here? Who's the lawyer?
Oh, yeah. Nellie, the applicant looks like he needs to be moved over. It's Daniel Zimdell.
Tips with touring on. Into the floor.
Actually, that was.
Oh, I'm very sorry about that.
That was a reported successor that never opened. Equates it
Okay,
for-
can you talk to your application, please?
Yes, hi, how are you? Dan Zumdahl, thank you for having me. So, yeah, we are applying for Era Midtown NYC. You're correct, this was the old McQuaid's location. I think they had a license since 96 with no issues. The restaurant has closed and I will be taking over the space to kind of revitalize it, give it some fresh blood, bring, you know, some new exciting things to the area, and hopefully have much success there.
What Christine was pointing out was we had a prior applicant for this space in 2023 that was only asking for 2 AM, but that deal presumably fell through. But McQuaid's had been there forever and for so long, I'm almost certain they had a 4 AM license.
Correct. Yeah, they did have a 4 AM. You know, we would like to do the same. Obviously, you know, I'd like as much opportunity as I can to, you know, with a new restaurant and, you know, with my staff to serve as long as possible. You know, we are going to have I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I didn't realize, so there's a basement there that you can serve patrons in. I never realized that.
Yeah, we're going to be using that more as like an event space for, you know, small private events, you know, hopefully some of the businesses in the area, if they want to have, you know, holiday parties or any sort of like specific event space, we could provide that to them. You know, and if they're, and for special occasions, if we want to, more like an overflow room.
Great, thanks.
Good, thank you. Any questions from the committee? Nellie, anybody
Yeah.
from the community?
There's no one with the raised hand.
Mike, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, good. I get to speak. I used to go to McQuaid's when I worked close by, and they had a little back room. Yeah, if you walk straight on back.
Yep.
And are you gonna keep that open?
So there are the bathrooms there, and that'll be like a little area. We may be using that as like a staging area for to-go food when, you know, Uber Eats and everything wants to come. The drivers and everyone could kind of post there and then wait for their food since the kitchen's right off the side there.
because you know what it was used for back then, right?
I don't.
What
Maybe
were
you
you
could tell
used
me.
for?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a local card game. And it was the local guys. It was not a gambling
Well, I
establishment.
think I would need another license for that, but maybe you could.
Yeah, no,
No,
no, no. This was like a friendly game. This is like not a
yeah,
gambling person.
I'm just kidding.
Just
I'm just
friendly. A place to meet up. Like if you want to play backgammon or
yeah.
checkers or
Okay.
cards or whatever.
Thanks for the history,
Anyway.
Mike. Thanks for the
Well, hopefully
history.
when we get open, you could come by and you can see what we did with the space.
Real good.
Michael Noble was playing
Okay.
card games there.
Did we ask?
Yeah, you did, something like.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
To approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? President not eligible? Abstaining?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Okay. Item number 7, moving down the agenda, 369 West 46th Street, EMH 2024. Suggested hours of operation, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., 7 days a week.
Hi, everybody. Before I get going, I just want to make sure Eric is here.
I am.
Hey, there he is. All right, great. Phil Dorn, attorney with Pizetsky and Bookman. Nice to see all of you. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since before January. With me, as I just mentioned, is Eric Hannanen, who is the proud new owner of EMH 2024 Inc., otherwise known as the Ritz Bar and Lounge that's located on Restaurant Row. After owning both the building and the bar for about 2 decades, the owners, who are older and dealing with some health concerns, I believe, are selling the business to Eric, who has managed the business for a few years now. Eric is looking to maintain the status quo here. He's same concept, same operation, same customers, same hours. Eric is, however, taking the time to give the space a much needed facelift. Not only is he going to spruce it up cosmetically, but he's also taking several sound mitigation measures to make sure that everyone remains happy nearby. That includes, just so everybody, in case you're curious, that includes high density soundproofing materials and acoustic sealants in spaces such as doorways and windows where the noise could potentially leak. It also includes upgrading the doors and windows themselves and installing sound limiters on the sound system so that the sound can only reach a certain volume. Staff will also be trained to make sure that doors are kept closed at all times when not in use. It's also important to add that there are no residents in this building. As I mentioned, the previous owners of Ritz, they owned the building and they're in the process of selling the building to Eric. There are no residents in the building. In fact, Eric is going to be moving into the building. So that lends itself to the fact that Eric has personal interest in making sure that the bar isn't a disturbance on the block. I just want to point out one difference between the Ritz of old and the Ritz of new. There is an outdoor area in the back. It's always been there, but it's unclear if it was ever properly disclosed. If it was, great. If not, we're here to make sure that it is done the right way by including it in all our materials. That outdoor area will be closed by 10 o'clock each night. Eric, the last thing I'll mention is that Eric did a lot of outreach here. He sent emails to all the appropriate block associations and individuals nearby. I know he heard back from one person, Christine, I think that might have been you. But other than that, he's received a lot of support from neighbors and local patrons who he's grown to know over the years. As I mentioned, this is just a continuation of the status quo. So not a new neighborhood not a new establishment coming into the neighborhood, just a new owner. So we're here to answer any questions.
So I'll just address the rear yard because I went to look at it. It's 2 sort of staggered decks on 2 different floors. They're fairly small. There was definitely furniture up there, so it looks like legally or not, they have been used before. There's some pictures in the Dropbox, or I have them here if anyone did look at them. There are a lot of windows very close. On 46th Street, this is very near 9th Avenue. So the left side of the outdoor space is pretty close to the rear windows of the 9th Avenue residential buildings. They're also pretty close on the north end to the West 47th Street buildings. And again, it's a little hard to tell what's occupied there or not. Just by being there, I couldn't tell if there are a lot of windows, but I couldn't really tell if anyone was currently living there or what was going on.
Just for some clarity, is Eric going to be purchasing the building, or is he just going to be running the operation?
Yes, he's going to be purchasing the building.
And I have another question. I know Ritz very well because I've worked there, and I know Tommy Greco. I've been, part of that business since it opened. I think it was in 2008. Is the third or second floor, because the first floor is considered the basement, then you have the first floor, which is really like the second. There is a bar on the third floor, and I don't see that in the specs that were sent. Is that bar going to be licensed?
No, that bar is
no.
Okay.
It's considered residential space, and that's what we plan to keep it as, and probably where I will be making my home.
Oh, I should say about the outdoor space that Eric told me they would agree that there would only be seated patrons out there. So it's not going to turn into something where there'll be a lot of people standing around. And as he put on the form, they're going to have on both levels, there'll be a total of 15 tables with 24 seats.
That's right.
In the hours for that outdoor area?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10.
Did you say, Phil, you answered our usual question, 10 and 11 on weekends, but are you agreeing to 10 o'clock every night?
Yeah, we had just said 10 across the board.
Okay.
And no music on.
So I'll make that change. And
No
obviously
music.
there's no music out there.
Okay.
And no bar.
And no
No,
bar,
no,
yeah.
there's no room for one anyways.
Okay. Additional questions, Christine?
Yeah, so you have a door to do service, to go to the outside. How are you going to manage to keep the music and the noise inside when you open the door?
Yeah, part of our staff training will be to ensure both in the front and in the back that doors remain shut at all times, unless, of course, they are in use if people are coming in or going out.
Through the main entry, there are to the back there are a 2-door system. So the one door will be open and the next one will be closed, and then there is a shielding that will be a noise protectant sealer as well, kind of like a flaps that will be installed.
Jesse?
So I guess I'm looking around, many of us here have been frequent patrons of Rise over the years, and obviously, Ritz here, Rise, Ritz over the years, and recognize its contributions to the community. But I'm looking around, and none of us can sort of identify being in that outdoor space or remembering it. So I guess I'm just wondering, if you can answer honestly, have you had? I mean, it sounds like it's been used, whether on the books or not. It's gotten some use. So have you gotten any complaints from? Nope. Is he gone?
Eric hasn't been the owner there, so he's worked.
Eric's been. Yes, you said that he's worked there. So I just want to know if he's aware of any complaints that have come in.
So I have worked there, but the outdoor space has not been open since prior to COVID, and I haven't worked there at that point in time. So I actually don't have an answer for you on that.
Okay. I just don't, I mean, like.
When I worked there, they had barbecues outside in the back on Sundays. And it's a very small area.
Yeah.
It is very close to some of the windows.
Yeah.
But I don't remember there being any complaints, but that was many years ago.
Yeah.
I know some of the neighbors were young and frequented the rights plenty of times, so they wouldn't have complained even if there was noise. But, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
it's-
as Frank mentioned, we're willing to close it earlier than the typical 11 p.m. on weekends. We're doing 10 p.m. on weekends, so it's a small space with early closing hours that we don't foresee.
Do we want to hear from, looks like David Stewart has his hand up. We also have a letter from 5954, which I'll summarize if they don't speak about it. Nellie, can you move over David Stewart and anyone else with their hands raised?
Hey, everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, David.
Hey, everybody. So, yeah, I'm David Stewart. I'm the president of the 45th and 46th Street Block Association. So I did get a notice about this in my email. I hadn't been able to write a letter about it, but I appreciate everything that was said. Obviously, I haven't seen the whole plan, but I think just a couple of things I wanted to mention. So I don't know of a lot of complaints in the past, but I do know that there were some complaints, mostly about people like as they're exiting late at night during the week. And then also like as the doors opened up. So I think Eric is a new owner. I believe he said he was managing the place. And I know this place has had like a little bit of a troubled history. But I'm just wondering about the 4 a.m. closing 7 days a week. During the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think it would be nice if we could do something like see what happens when they come in. So if we could have, say, 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. on the weekdays, 4 a.m. on the weekends, that's totally fine. It's Restaurant Row, totally understand that. But would love to just have some kind of thing in there where it's like, if we see how the place operates, because as a new owner, I know there's going to be challenges, there's going to be learning curve, things like that. So I would just like to see, and I think I've talked to a few neighbors on the street who would like to see earlier closing times during the week. And then if you prove to be a good operator, which I'm sure you will be, and I'm happy to coordinate with you and meet you anytime you want, then maybe in 3 or 4 months, we can reevaluate. And if it's, if you guys have been great operators and whatever, then the community would absolutely support, any hours of operation up to 4 a.m.
Okay, thanks, David. Phil, let's hear from everybody and then we'll let you respond. Nellie, anybody else?
No, there's no one else.
Okay, so the HK 4954 Block Alliance sent us an email today making a similar point to what David just did. They said their members are concerned about awarding a new liquor license with 4 a.m. close to an operator with 0 prior experience managing a bar club. Well, it's not completely accurate. This location was used by a criminal ring to prey upon intoxicated patrons as they left, so they could drug and rob them. These criminals were found guilty of murder yesterday. One of the places, it was several.
We're not gonna penalize this.
Yeah, and it was also several places. It was also.
No, but they said something else.
Yeah, we are concerned that owners without any prior experience in this area will not be able to adequately ensure the safety of their patrons, both within and directly outside their establishments. We ask for the committee to deny their 4 a.m. close and change to 12 or 2 a.m. at the latest until they're able to prove they're reliable owners.
I have a question. What is their security plan? What are they going to do in the front?
Yeah, so may I address the committee?
Go ahead, Phil.
Thanks. First of all, whoever it was that said, we're not going to penalize them, I appreciate that sentiment. I think it wouldn't be fair to penalize us for the horrendous and scary incident that took place on one evening. We did submit an extremely comprehensive security plan with our submission materials. It's located on page 17 of our packet. If you have it handy, it's a 3 or 4 page plan that really breaks down all the methods that we are going and the mechanisms that we are going to use to make sure that there's adequate staffing, adequate security, adequate training, ID control, restricted areas, security cameras, everything of that nature, which is a step up from what was there before. Which that kind of leads me into the next point that I want to make, which is that this is not a new establishment. It's not another 4 a.m. license that's coming into the neighborhood, as I think the letter might have mentioned. This is a place that's been there for 2 decades, and it's just maintaining the status quo. It's not adding to the saturation of the neighborhood. If anything, this is a bonus because Eric is giving this place the tune-up that it needs to help enhance security, safety, friendliness, and the cosmetics on top will make it a more inviting and welcoming space. This is something that we believe is good for the neighborhood, good for the block, and Eric, though he hasn't owned his space, has managed the space, and so he has the familiarity with how to run the business. In fact, he has locals and regulars that come, for example, on Sunday nights, it's Latin night, and he runs that night, and he is continuing that practice. And so if we were to have to scale back the hours from what it's been for over 20 years, it would really hurt Eric as an owner who has grown a lot of rapport with these regulars.
I think people are responding to the 4 a.m. 7 days a week. They want to sort of, let's do 2 a.m. for a couple of months during the week and see how that goes, and then come back and we can do the 4 a.m.
I mean,
so let's see what people, so I guess there are 2 issues. There are the closing hours in general inside, and then, whether we have any concerns about the outdoor space, which will be closing at 10. So what's people's?
I think the change of operation here is the outdoor space. I think ultimately, the 4 a.m. has been exactly, I think Phil makes a persuasive argument that it's been, operating decently for 2 decades. And the fact of the matter is we have a new owner who I actually would appreciate though if Eric could just, speak a little bit to his experience and management history, just so we get a little bit more comfortable with you and familiarity with you. But ultimately, I do think that it carries a lot of weight that he will be living directly above the space and quite truly taking ownership of, how the bar interacts with its neighbors and how it treats its patrons and how it protects its patrons. And so I don't think, and as I said, it sounds like they actually are taking affirmative steps to be better neighbors in terms of sound control. I actually appreciate the detail of the submission here. So I think they took this seriously. And I think that we should, I'm still, if anything, I think we could maybe be a little tougher on the outdoor space because that's what's new, but I'm okay with where we're at.
Let's hear other people, but one idea I had with the outdoor space, and I don't know if they go with it, if we let them use it maybe 3 or 4 days a week at the start.
Yeah.
Which is if it gets out of hand, at least it'll only be bothering people a couple nights a week.
That's what I was
Friday,
Until,
Saturday,
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let's hear from everybody else.
I agree with your stance on the hours because it's been there for so long and he's been managing it. The only thing that I remember that, I don't know if this has been brought up, is that they have outdoor seating in the front as well, but it's within their property. And if people are allowed to drink out there as late as they want to, 3 o'clock in the morning, that might contribute to people exiting. So I would say that we would want to put the same outdoor stipulation for that. Even though it's within their property, it's still open to the sidewalk. Because I don't think that was mentioned.
It used to be a big problem.
Okay, well, before we let Eric and Bill
Yeah.
address that, Inga?
I totally agree with the keeping their hours, and I just, they've been here forever, they're not a problem, they didn't cause what happened, that shouldn't even be factored in. I agree with Ted on the front yard, because that will contribute to the noise. And I think 3 days a week for the outdoor space.
In the back.
Mhm. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Like a,
Or less capacity.
Capacity is pretty smart.
it's
two
small,
levels.
it's two
24.
levels and that's small, and no music at
24
all,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it is really a small space.
So
It's-
maybe
I'm
Thursday,
fine with them.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
So Phil, I think we'd like to hear from
10
Eric, but
o'clock.
before we do that, what do you and Eric think about, first of all, the closing the front yard, the
10
front
o'clock.
tables by
10
10
o'clock.
o'clock as well? And then maybe limiting the number of days if they
Nothing on the
agree
front
with it.
The front space, if I may step in and address the board. The front space, I have no issues with meeting any of these comments.
So you'll
partic-
close that at 10 PM as well, nightly?
Yeah,
Yep.
particularly what we see is currently just people hanging out with the owner that is available or makes it on the Friday, Saturday evenings, and security guards, and then people at the front. So we can make an effort to have just security out there and move everybody else inside and not utilize that space as it's been used. But I have no issues with doing
Let me
that.
just make a comment about that. So by closing, we mean you are going to remove the furniture when you close, right?
Well, that might be hard to do.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm just
furniture
saying.
would be moved at the end of the evening, but no patrons will be out in that area after that time.
And they had a good security plan, they have people everywhere.
Yeah, I know it'd be hard to lug it through a crowded bar to get it out of there. They just move it to the side. Yeah, if you can like move it, Eric, if you can like sort of move it out of the way so it's not inviting people to sit there as they leave. that'd be
Yeah, or
great.
flip a chair upside down, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Right. That
So
would be
what's
good.
your response to the suggestion, the outdoor in the back, only on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Eric,
I'm so,
go ahead, Eric.
So the front, I want to make clear to the front that there's literally only one table and two chairs that are usually up there, and people are hanging out on the railings. But I will make sure that that is cleared by 10 p.m. Every night, and then only security letting people directly into the front doors. And then there was a question about the back, but I couldn't hear that. There was other.
Their suggestion for the back was that for the first few months, it only be available for use on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and not Sunday through Wednesday.
Understood. I think it would be a little bit hard to not have it open on Sundays, say from 4 until maybe a reduced time of say 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. or something
Right.
along that
was
line.
going to be my suggestion is that on those days, can we at least enjoy the backyard area for earlier hours? So it's
I
not a
would even
disturbance.
say 9 on Sundays.
No, so
But
9
he
Sunday
said,
through
he said
Wednesday.
earlier,
He said 8, but 9 is still
but eight
reasonable.
AM?
PM.
Oh.
So Eric, were you saying Thursday to Sunday, or do you want to use it every day?
I would just like Thursday to Sunday would be appropriate until you guys feel comfortable with my background or the way that the situation is going on.
Thursday, Saturday till 10, Sunday till 9.
And
That's
true. Yes,
That will
correct.
work.
And then,
Okay, very good.
All right, and Eric, one of our committee members just wanted to hit a little more about your experience. Can you just give us a minute or two on that?
All right, I'll make it brief. So the last, the first probably 10 years, ending college and into my professional life, I was in the food industry from AmeriCorps, serving 80 kids, well, along with 5 staff, providing food, and then moved into restaurants of different nature, whether it's Applebee's situation or similar types of status, moving in from bartending, serving to assistant general manager, and then ultimately general manager and regional manager for a couple of corporations. Then moving into New York, I became, well, I am a civil engineer by trade as well, and have been working as a civil engineer and then doing evening type of work in the bar industry, both in Minnesota, where my home was, where most of this restaurant items happened, and then in Brooklyn, and to a bar that closed, and now up in Manhattan, where I am now at the Ritz. I was a patron at this establishment since probably 2014, 15, and moved and found a way into providing services throughout the last couple years as management has changed. The management had got, yeah, either way. So that's where.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, Eric. Thank you.
So just to summarize the steps, and Phil, make sure, and Eric, make sure you're okay with this. The rear yard space will be used Thursday to Sunday only, with the rear yard closed and vacated to patrons no later than 10 p.m. Thursday to Saturday and 9 p.m. on Sundays. Front yard outdoor space will be closed and vacated to patrons no later than 10 p.m. nightly, and there'll be no music or amplified sound in any outdoor space.
Okay.
That
Anybody
is
from the
correct.
community,
Yeah, we already did that with Andrew.
okay,
Just so I understand, because it's a bit unusual. So it's the Monday to Wednesday, no rear yard.
That's correct. That's what we asked for. I thought Eric agreed to that.
Yes, I did, and that was something that might be reviewed after months have gone by and
you
to
can come
compliance.
back, no problem, Eric.
Okay,
very good.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? President not eligible, abstaining. Okay, good luck, Eric.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Item number 8, 332 9th Avenue, ZMZ 9th Tavern. Hours of operation, 8 a.m. to 4 a.m., Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Sunday. The applicant here?
Yes.
Or the lawyer?
Hi,
Good evening.
my name's Laura Ryan, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant ZMZ 9th Tavern LLC. This application is for a full on-premises license at 332 9th Avenue, which is, as many of you may know, the location where Billy Marks West had operated for the last 25 years under the previous ownership, which closed in the last year. I am joined by one of the applicant's owners, Mike Zielinowski. Mike is looking to bring back this neighborhood institution and operate with the same hours and method of operation as the previous licensee. The premises has held a 4 a.m. license for many, many years. And if anything, this is going to be an improvement. Mike is going to be doing some work to restore the kitchen. He'll have a gastropub menu. And Mike is an experienced operator. He owns McDougal Street Ale House, Sparrow Street Ale House, Tavern on Reed, and Soho Room, and those are in the Manhattan Community Board 1 and 2 districts. Those are all successful neighborhood bars. He is well liked by the community and those community board associations. And we know the landlord really believes that he's the best tenant for this pretty storied space, and he'll be there on premises and running the business day to day. And if there's any questions that Mike or I can answer.
Thanks. So I just want to point out to the committee that not only has this been long licensed, but in 2023, we recommended approval of a prior applicant, again, a deal that probably didn't go through.
Yeah.
But, you know, we did that with 4 AM across the board as well.
Comments, questions? Anybody from the community now?
There's one hand raised. I have an Adam. Adam, you can unmute and speak now.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, that took a little while to join. Am I good to comment?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm Adam Lerner. I live a few doors down from where Billy Marks was and where the applicant is applying. I see now not just a bar, but a gastropub. And so one thing I'll just say is that, as far as I know, Billy Marks did not have food. And one thing that I know my neighbors are concerned about is the possible presence of rats that, you know, food will bring. So I would just want to note that that's a concern that people have. I'll also note that although Billy Marks was there for quite a long time, and this will be, if anything, an improvement on the status quo. The status quo was not all that great. Billy Marks brought pros and cons to the block. It was nice to have people on the block who were, you know, keeping an eye out for us residents, but also it brought quite a raucous crowd who would spill out onto the side at night. There's a side door spilling onto 29th Street, and I'm wondering how that will be managed. Will people be spilling out, drinking and smoking onto the sidewalk at all hours of night? Will they be breaking glass? Often there's broken glass in the morning, and this has been a problem for Billy Marks. My dog, sitting beside me, often gets glass in her paws if we're not careful. So I just want to note that these are concerns that I would love for the applicants to take proactive steps to address.
Okay, thank you. Nellie, before we discuss that, is there anybody else?
Mike Noble.
Well, let's do it for public first. Anyone else from the community know?
There's no one else with a raised hand.
Okay, Mike?
Yes, it just reminded me that the side door, you know, I think what happened with Billy Marks is that they were only allowed to use it as an egress. After some time, they agreed that they would close it off and not let people get inside from the outside. So is that what your intention is as
I
well?
can address that. The C of O states for the property that the egress to the side is to remain unlocked to afford a second means of egress.
Really? No, yeah, to get out. I'm talking about to get in.
To get in.
Michael, can you use it only as an emergency exit though?
As far as I know, yes.
So will you agree to only use the 29th Street door as an emergency exit?
If it's okay with fire code and DOB, yes.
You can equip it with a bar.
Yeah.
An emergency bar, so people do not.
Right, and you can put up signs and, you know, put up a sign
Yes, of
outdoors
course.
that says
I mean,
enter on
as
9th
long as
Avenue.
it's legal, we can do it.
Yeah, because there's a reason for it.
Laura, are you okay with that?
We can't lock a means of egress, that's all I'm saying.
No, we're not asking you to lock it, we're just saying you not to let people use it, enter through there or use it regularly. Keep it unlocked, but with signs saying it's an emergency exit only.
Right,
I do have that issue at my place in Soho as well. And it's been limited to a push bar exit only.
That's it.
So you'll do that?
That's exactly that.
Not a problem.
Okay. And then, well, first of all, technically anyone with a liquor license is supposed to be serving food, or at least have food available for purchase. But I hope you listened to your neighbor's comments about, making sure you don't add to the rat problem and,
They are going to have containers.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since 1998. I'm a responsible operator with 4 different kitchens. And like I said, I'm responsible to the health department. I'm responsible to my patrons, responsible to my neighbors. I run a clean ship. I'm a very hands-on operator. That's why I'm good at what I do.
What do you call that? Exit bar of an emergency building?
Push bar. Okay. I have a motion.
Well, wait on 1 second. So one of the concern was, people spilling outside. So you're going to have the security person there that is going to prevent people from spending their time on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make sure we have a stip on that.
So what would you want to step? Go ahead,
To
Christine.
say that there will be a security person in charge of just either keeping people inside or dispersing people from the sidewalk.
Yeah, we've definitely provided for security personnel in the application, so we're on that.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of residential buildings all around this place.
Right.
Okay, thank you. How do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Yeah.
All those in favor?
Yep.
Aye.
Opposed? Present not eligible? Abstaining? Okay,
Getting there.
the last
Thank you.
item in this group.
Thank you for your time. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Good luck.
Gotta go back to water.
Yeah. 309 West 50th, the Pizza LLC.
And we have someone here in person for that.
Hours of
Okay.
operation 12 to 10.
You can maybe
Well,
stand up.
go ahead.
Just talk to us more.
I'm one of the applicants, the current owner of the existing establishment there, my partner Matteo Bassani, who's there in person.
Yeah.
So we currently operate Don Antonio Pizzeria. We've been there since 2012, and we're just going through a restructuring because we're bringing on 2 new partners that have entered this new LLC, which is why we're going to park the existing license and we're asking for a new liquor license for the new corporation that we established. So Matteo, who's the general manager, and his beautiful young wife who are coming in. In fact, his wife has been featured throughout the U.S. as the preeminent female pizza maker, not only in the country, but she was recognized as the one to watch at a big award ceremony in Naples, Italy, the birthplace of pizza. So,
Okay. One technical question. You didn't circle any music, but it looks like you're gonna have background music, right?
yeah. So currently, there's a little system inside. Matteo can probably talk to that a little bit because it's.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure the form was accurate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the 4954 Block Alliance said, you folks emailed them and they said, you've been good operators, so the community has no objections to the requested change.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone from the committee?
Mateo, you want to add anything?
I think we will say.
Okay. Ellie, anyone from the?
It's the pizza is baked.
Nelly, anyone from the community?
There's no one with a raised hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Present not eligible? Abstaining? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
hope you enjoy being here.
Now, before we move on to our favorite part of the meeting, let's go back and.
Anybody here from Nellie, 405 West 23rd Street? That was the Chelsea Pantry Corp, item number 1.
No.
So I think we should deny, I think,
Speak up, so Nelly.
yeah, I think we should obviously deny this application.
Which one?
Number
I
one.
don't know. They're not here.
And they've been on the agenda for
They've been on
months
the
now.
agenda multiple times. They have just hired the fourth or fifth manager. This place has not been open long. It's not gonna live very long. The new manager has been in place for about 2 weeks. So just before he came, I helped them fill out the application because they were having a hard time with it. Found out that they had probably, one of the people behind it had probably applied for a liquor license without coming to us. They have now had 2 or 3 temporaries. Their temporary goes until March 9th, I believe. They did get a letter last week from the SLA asking them a few questions. If they didn't answer it by the 11th, they weren't gonna get their license, so I think we should deny.
Wait, I'm sorry, can you clarify, wait, which space is this? Is this a vacant space?
No.
Or
This
or
is
this?
the pantry, or the lion, or whatever they call them.
Wait, but they're already serving.
They've
She
had a
said
couple
they
of
have a temporary.
They
temporaries,
have temporary.
but they have gone around us. They've been on our, 2 months ago?
So I think.
I don't know.
Couple times.
Couple of times, but they never show up. And they, yeah.
So what happened with that?
I just
application?
feel like there's
We don't
something.
have-
Or one at a time.
Yeah.
What happened with that application? That they apply around us? Where is?
I don't know. It's with the SLA. I have the number. I can send it to you if you wanna
Should we
reference
send
that.
a?
Well, let's Nellie, do you know anything of what happened
Now
here?
I don't know what, I think there's something else.
Nellie, what happened here? Do you have any more info?
So they sent us a 30-day notice months ago. They did not come to us. I sent a denial letter. And in the midst of me sending a denial, the representative or attorney they had went and applied anyway to the State Liquor Authority. And the State Liquor Authority received their application before receiving our denial. So they had already started the process and received a temporary. So they got a temporary.
I think we should send a letter
the state
recapping
liquor.
this stuff and saying they have not been,
Yeah.
you know,
Nellie,
honest.
Nellie, can you just,
They keep changing.
we should get this in quickly, but can you draft a short letter just recommending denial and saying that they, gave us 30-day notice, they've been non-responsive, got a license.
They've closed 3 times and they're only
Yeah,
open
I mean,
for
you know,
a year and
they're
a half.
unstable.
Have some
And
history in
it's
the letter.
2-week-old 4th or 5th manager.
Okay,
So it's
so
really-
Nellie, if you would work with Inga to get the details and just get a short letter together, but I think we should get it out quickly,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
okay?
I'll call you
Okay.
tomorrow now.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So we have a letter then going before the full board.
But yeah,
Let's
I
send
think-
it out
Send it
sooner.
before.
I don't think we should wait.
No,
I think-
it'll be ratified.
Thank
Because we have already denied,
We
Yeah.
already denied it once at
so we
committee.
don't have to get it voted again.
Okay.
Well, no, the denial was administrative because they didn't show up. They didn't submit stiff form.
Same thing.
No, this one we're actually voting on because we now have a stiff form.
Oh.
If they don't,
Got it.
if they don't respond to Nellie, she just does it administratively.
So,
So we need a vote to recommend denial because of what you heard from.
okay, all those in favor of
But
recommending,
someone else make a motion.
Yeah.
first.
Okay, I make a motion.
Okay.
Good. Second.
recommending denial?
Yeah.
All in
P&A, I
favor?
guess. I'll do P&A.
Dirty.
Okay.
I'm abstaining.
One
Why?
abstaining. Okay.
So never gonna
President
survive, I
not
don't want to be a vacant store.
President not eligible?
It's never been vacant.
Fine, we love that place. You keep
Okay.
coming back.
All right,
Where we met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the number? Oh.
One abstaining, all in favor. Okay,
Oh, I also realized that.
now we're moving along to our favorite new part of the agenda. Sidewalk cafes and roadways. First item is a roadway, 88 Seventh Avenue in Westville.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, We have more items here than we had liquor license.
No, this is crazy.
Okay, so, and recall, we did the Sidewalk Cafe last month, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Anybody, I think, Inga, you're the one that looked at this?
Harry and Greg went, yeah, we all
Okay,
went.
you all went. So what do you think about the roadway?
The roadway was fine, it was a team, and the roadway was, they're far enough away from the corner, there's nothing, they have their spot, it's really very clean for the roadway.
Okay.
But they have a storm enclosure, right?
Uh,
Or at least in the.
Now, they're,
Not anymore.
their lawyer.
We took that down.
Yeah,
Okay.
they asked to keep it up, but.
But it's in the stick form.
They removed it.
Yeah, they took it down because we had talked to them about it.
The applicant's here.
And,
Failed property.
the parks, they put it in the stick.
Oh, in the steps that they were gonna have a.
Well, the steps were done back in January.
I have something which they updated.
Is the applicant here that can respond to this?
Hello?
Robert, are you here for Westville?
Yes, I'm here for Westville.
They removed it.
Yeah.
So did you hear what people were saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Did you hear what people were commenting on and?
I think.
About they removed it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we talked to them. They wanted to keep it up, but we told them, listen, you gotta take it down.
They sent me an email.
Okay.
We wanted confirmation.
Thank you.
So Robert.
Nope, we took it down.
We'll continue the skip you agreed to last month. It's our usual one that if they want to have one, it can only be 18 inches
Right.
from the
Yes.
building facade. Okay, so we're gonna use the same skip form you submitted last month with the Sidewalk Cafe.
Okay.
So we'll keep that to apply to this too. The additional steps being the Sidewalk Cafe can't be enclosed, and any storm enclosure will extend only 18 inches from the building facade.
Okay.
Okay?
You can agree to that.
Anybody from the community, Ally?
Where's the?
No, there's no one with a raised hand.
Sidewalk.
Thank you.
Sidewalk we did last month.
Oh, for Westville, that's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed, abstaining, present not eligible? Okay,
Thank you.
number
Thank you.
11. 174 8th Avenue.
I'll be with you for the next few ones.
So you're also Jungle Bird?
That's great.
Yep. We are 11, 12, and 13, and 14, so.
Okay.
And for Jungle Bird, we're doing the sidewalk and the roadway.
Yes,
Yeah, so the sidewalk is.
the roadway and the sidewalk.
The sidewalk was good?
Yes, did you do the roadway?
Who went to visit?
No, it's
Carrie
not.
did. Everything looked good. All the measurements are there.
Mhm.
And I think you did the roadway.
No, it's now. The roadway is right here.
We did the roadway the week before, sorry, we did the sidewalk the week before.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Or, sorry, we did the roadway the week before
Roadway
and then the
before.
sidewalk the week after, and both were okay.
correct.
Right.
Both were okay.
Both were okay?
Mhm.
Okay, no issues.
And again, can we, there were two steps I'd like to repeat, which, Robert, there are probably steps that the applicant won't use the roof in any way and it won't be accessible to patrons and staff. And then,
Jungle Bird had been a problem previously.
so can we carry that over? I assume that's what they're doing.
The
Yes.
neighbors.
Okay,
Thank you.
as well as any storm enclosure will extend no further than 18 inches.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, do I hear a motion?
We're voting on
well,
both.
let's do one at a time.
Okay.
So that's the sidewalk?
Wait, sorry.
Right.
I should know, I know I should know this by now already, but how are we doing with the hours of operation of Sidewalk Roadway Cafes? Is that part of it, or is that like not part of this conversation?
No, I believe on the STIP form, they agreed to our usual hours.
We agreed to 10 and 11.
Yeah, they agreed to 10 and 11.
10 and 11,
Then
Jesse.
we have a stick form which overrides what the
I got
DOT
it.
does.
The DOT will not cut it back, so we do it by
So we do
steps
it
with
by
the
steps.
SOI.
Okay, so let's hear a motion for item
Motion to
11,
approve.
which is the roadway.
11
Yeah.
and 12.
11 and 12.
You wanna vote on both?
Yeah.
Sure.
There was an
Let's vote.
objection
I'm
before.
voting on both.
I think we should vote on both.
Okay, let's do it.
11 and 12.
11 and 12, we're voting on. Favor? Opposed? President not eligible? Abstaining. Okay. Moving along.
Okay, now I'm ready to vote on.
Now we're on 184 8th Avenue, Bar Noble. This is a sidewalk.
It's Bonobo.
And this was Carrie and Alan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, any comments?
Or Alan?
Alan?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Alan, go ahead.
Go ahead, Karen. Thank you.
So the applicant, who we met said that she was going to resubmit, the drawing because it's a bit tricky. It's a very small space on the sidewalk and in front of the restaurant. And you have to, you could only serve from inside through French doors to the cafe. So, but there's no obstruction inside, so that doesn't mean that's not possible. But she said she wanted to come outside through the front door, and there's no room for a service aisle if she does it that way. So she was going to resubmit the drawing, but then apparently we heard from Frank that that was not the case.
Yeah, Robert, I was speaking to Mike Kelly about a few other things, and he didn't know anything about the new drawings, and he thought that the person Carrie and Alan spoke to probably didn't understand the constraints of the site.
Well, I do have Michael here as well for this one if you want to.
Yeah, so the plans are saying,
Two of you.
I'm at committee board too.
Sorry,
Sorry.
we can't hear you very well.
So we have the 10-foot clearance on that, so we weren't going to change the plans.
So you'll be serving from inside and you will not use the front door, which would require 3 more feet of a service entrance, which you don't have.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue then is gonna be noise from inside spilling out if the French doors or whatever you have there are open all the time.
So if the music's on, we're going to have the doors closed.
Okay.
So no cafe. Right?
No cafe if the music is on.
Oh, no, I think he means they'll open it to serve.
They won't.
Yeah, but
They won't keep
it
them open.
swings out into the street.
Right.
If they have music on in this inside, they won't have any. They won't have any doors or windows open. Nothing.
Okay, I want to see them.
And when the cafe's open, the doors will be closed and there'll be no music.
Okay.
So wait,
The question becomes, when they have tables outside and the doors are closed, how are they gonna be served? if there's no
yes, do
service?
they bring their own food out from inside?
Okay, so sorry, let me try and explain this a little better. So when the cafe's open, the doors will be open and the music will be off. So there won't be any noise problems. And then when the cafe's closed, the doors will be closed and then we could have the ambiance music.
Okay, so we should put a stip on that, that's pretty unusual.
Yeah, so Robert, we'll have 2 steps. It says all service to the Sidewalk Cafe will be through French doors in building facade and not via sidewalk, okay?
Okay.
That's one. And then the other is all doors and windows will be closed whenever there's music or amplified sound inside.
Okay.
And there will be no cafe.
Okay.
And there will be no service to the cafe. Okay.
Are you okay with the latter part of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
All right, we're good.
Public.
I hear there's a hand raised.
Yeah.
Nellie,
Oh, there.
there was a hand raised.
There's no hand raised now.
Okay,
This one. Motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, Person not eligible? Abstaining, okay, this is number 13,
Right.
okay?
So just hold on for a second and just go get. So
14 is 622.
Ready for 14?
Yeah, one second.
You're the adult.
It's going to be like.
We have a bunch of sticks in there. Okay. Take it down.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
Okay, item number 14, 622 10th Avenue, 44 and X Hell's Kitchen. This is for Sidewalk.
Yes, I'm here for this one as well.
Okay.
My last one.
Yeah,
Frank did.
I did, but hold on a
Okay.
second, I'm still getting organized here. Okay, so I did look at this one. This is on the corner of 44th Street and 10th Avenue. It's place has been there for decades. There were two issues. One, the sidewalk or the distance between the facade and the tree pits was about 7 inches shorter than shown on the plans, but Mike Kelly has submitted revised plans. They're basically going to take up less space with the Sidewalk Café, so there will be the required 8-foot clearance between the tree pits and the traffic light and the perimeter of the cafe, and the cafe will be confined to 6 feet 5 inches. The other issue is this establishment has historically had very nice but massive planters on the sidewalk. They're wooden, white, about 2 feet by 2 feet. Again, I spoke to Mike about this, who tells me that the applicant has agreed, well, not to use them, or that, Mike, what you tell me, they're not gonna use them, or you told them that if they are gonna use them, they're gonna have fewer tables.
Well, we're planning on getting rid of them.
Okay.
No.
So the only barriers will be,
But if we do end up keeping them, we will have fewer tables, yes.
so can we say that, how about we just say, any planters must be placed within approved perimeter of the cafe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nellie, is there anyone, I had one comment from a resident. Nellie, is there anyone here from the public?
There's no one with a raised hand.
Okay, so Robert, one comment I got from some local residents is that they asked if there was any way you would remove the third table on the ends to sort of, you see where you have 3 tables on each end, to sort of just assist in pedestrian flow. I'm just passing that on. I'm honestly not sure how much space you'd save for the pedestrian flow, because you'd still need a service aisle to reach those tables.
Okay, you're talking about the one that's like right at the corner of the building, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, that's not a problem because, no, it is a problem because we already have the barriers that are going to take up that space anyway.
Right, and so and you're also going to need patrons and servers to reach the remaining 2 tables, right? So you need a service aisle. You need the same service aisle in front of those 2 tables as the other tables.
And if you do not cut the corner physically, you are not helping the pedestrian.
Right, and you can't.
So therefore, once you have the perimeter, whatever happens inside of the perimeter doesn't change the impact on the
So
pedestrian.
you think it's too complicated to
Yeah.
change the perimeter?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to pass on.
I don't think there is a benefit there.
Yeah, just wanted to pass on the comment.
Okay,
But there is one comment.
go ahead, proceed.
They have a vestibule and they are saying they're going to continue to have a vestibule.
Okay.
You know we love those.
Yeah, we know you don't like those. We'll get him to take that down.
Well,
or the 18 inches.
Yeah, or the 18 inches, of course.
Right, right.
Which is really nothing, so take it down.
No, it's not, but it saves that little bit of wind for people. So I think the 18 inches is great. But no, I'll talk to them about that, and we'll get them to remove that.
Thank you.
And seriously, the planters are a big issue, or have been, they take up a lot of sidewalk
They
space.
need to be inside.
So they either need to be in the new perimeter or gone. I mean,
No, I understand that, and I agree.
That will be noticed by the community members because they have been historically noticing them.
Okay. No, we'll let them know about those as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion?
Okay.
Wait, no, does a hand up someone say?
No, that's not a
No,
hand up,
something
that's
about,
professional audio.
yeah.
Now, do you see what's up on the screen now?
It's somebody
Set up professional audio, I don't know if that's us. Or is that Robert?
Oh, it's
I'm right here.
music thing. It's a Spotify thing.
No, I don't see what you see.
Disregard it.
Okay, so we'll forget about it. Okay,
Okay,
motion,
Yes.
Second.
all those in favor,
Aye.
opposed, present not eligible, abstaining. Okay?
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Okay, thank you both.
Now we're moving on to cook shop. I know Alan saw a cook shop, and Christine has some demos.
It's cook shop. Who's one there?
Alan, cook shop.
Cook shop works out nicely, everything, from the corner back works out. There is a question about everything fitting in within the 8 feet here,
What 8 feet? We are in the roadway.
in the roadway.
Oh, fitting in the 8 feet, yeah.
It has to be inside the area.
No, the tables and chair, there are a zillion of tables.
Well, and the barrier.
And the barrier.
And the barriers, right.
So could you restate that so we can get a response from the applicant?
Hi, I'm Gina from Esville UA. I'm one of the representatives for Cook Shop. Can you hear me?
Right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. What was the question? I'm sorry.
The question is, this is a very nice drawing, everything is very good, but it looks like between the size of your boundary, right? You're supposed to have a 10-inch boundary, and then, or 4-inch, and then the number of tables, it doesn't fit. So when you have 4 tables there at 2 feet table, that's 8 feet. And 8 feet plus the boundary is, I don't know, 9 feet.
Almost 9.
Almost 9.
Yeah,
So that
these
doesn't
are.
work.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
These are 2 top tables. They are 18 by 20. The tables. That's why they fit 4 tables.
Right, we don't like that.
Well, there's no,
It doesn't work.
The size of it.
work.
18 feet.
18 wide?
18 inches.
18 times 4. There's
but-
room for barriers and.
But 18, you can't put people. The question is, can we put any of you guys on an 18 table? You can't. That's the reality. You can't, I can't, none of us can. So if you have all these chairs.
So the question is, are the tables too small to be,
Right.
to actually fit patrons sitting at them?
Right.
These are going to be custom made for this space, so they can put like, for example, the 4 tables that are shown in there, but it's not specifically going to be like this the whole time. Like if there's less people, the restaurant can put less tables. If they need to add more tables, that's why they are applying for the maximum amount of tables that they can
But
have.
you can't custom make your customers. Your customers are at least 2 feet wide. So, I mean, what do you want, unless you want people which are all 1 foot wide as customers, that's not going to fit. So I understand your intention, I'm just thinking it doesn't work. And it would be better off to say, okay, we'll have, 3 tables of 2 people, of 2 feet.
24 by 24, because most of the restaurants that they are making sidewalk cafes, they're putting 18 or 20 inches.
Well, most of the sidewalk cafe we have seen
But this is
here.
a roadway.
roadway.
You have 8
Oh, that's
feet,
the
you
roadway.
only
We're
have
on
8
roadway.
feet with your barriers. How big are your barriers?
10 inches.
Right, so
So-
you're left with 7, 4.
7, 2.
7, 2.
Yeah. I mean, how wide are the chairs?
Right.
What kind of chairs are you sitting on?
So I really think it doesn't work and it makes you feel good, plus you are going to pay more for more chairs, etc., and you can use it. So my recommendation is to remove a row of,
Yeah, that's.
a row of tables.
Okay, I can talk to the owner and review the drawings. No, it's not a
The
problem.
The owner's here. The owner's here.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Sure,
Megan.
Pat.
Hi there, Chris Pascalettes, owner, managing partner, and applicant. I appreciate the concern of 18-inch tables. I've sat at bars and tables that were at 18 inches, but I understand your concern, and it would be easy for us, and I would comply with removing 2 tables, 1 on each side of the street structure, roadway structure.
And the
We'll
4
modify
in the
the plan.
middle, and the 4 in the middle.
That's fine. We can do that too.
Okay.
So
No
wait,
problem.
So that whole row.
6, 1 row.
so
Yeah,
Chris,
one
just so
row.
I'm clear, so you're gonna remove
We're
the
gonna
6
remove
tables along the curb edge?
4 tables. 6 tables. Correct.
6
Six
tables. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
6.
Gone.
So the row along the edge of the curb.
Right.
Gone.
Yeah, 6
Okay,
tables.
thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Can you get us,
Thank you.
revised plans? You want us to just cross them out, or can you get us revised plans?
Sure. Just one question. Do you send us an email with the comments so we can reply to the email with the new drawings, or how does it work?
You just send us a drawing.
Wait, so, yeah, what we'd like would you to send, to Nelly Gonzalez in the office, a revised drawing that just sort of eliminates those 6 tables.
Okay.
And, we need to get our comments to DOT. So we need that. Can you do that, the next, 10 days? Nelly, is that okay?
Yeah.
I see we have one person from the community with a raised hand.
No.
No,
He's an architect, he's not from the.
I'm moving them over.
He's one.
Hello. Hi. Hi, Christine.
Hi,
Frank.
Steve.
I'm actually the architect for this location.
oh, okay.
I'm actually the architect for about 2,000 locations. Many have had 18-inch tables. It's just for the record, even though Chris has agreed to remove them, they're very workable. But anyway, I only wanted to take the opportunity to say hello to you, Christine, and to Frank and to Nelly. How are you guys?
Thank you, Steve.
Well, Steve, but can you tell us, because we've been debating this a lot. I mean, it does seem like 18-inch, particularly with tables side by side. It just doesn't seem like people can sit there.
But they do.
But it's not a sidewalk, it's enclosed by the barriers, it's different. So the sidewalk people spread out.
Okay.
They just moved it.
All right, okay.
No,
All right.
You can't in the barriers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
I
you,
don't
Steve.
disagree, but we're gonna remove it nonetheless.
Okay, thank you.
And enjoy
Thanks.
for the restaurant.
Thanks for your comments, Steve. Keep
Thank you.
architecture. Okay. To, I
Frank,
hear a motion.
Yeah.
wait, I need the drawings by the 25th, no later.
That's no
Okay.
problem. Gina
Okay.
works for my office and we'll provide them. We'll probably work on it tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, person not eligible, abstaining. Okay. 16, 176 8th Avenue.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
176 8th Avenue, Lulu. It's also for the roadway.
Is it order? Yeah. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, Karen and I did that. Works out nice, all the measurements work out.
Perfect.
They will be back for a sidewalk.
And none of those work out, for the record.
None of them.
No.
Not a single thing about it works. Yeah.
Okay. But the roadway is good. That's what's
Yeah.
before us
Is the
now.
applicant here? Or
We
what?
let them know that they were gonna be.
There was somebody from the
Just
community
saying,
there.
There is a hand there.
Nellie, we have somebody, Jessica?
Jasenko.
The applicant is not here.
Okay.
So who is Jasenko?
He's the
Jasenko is the
Of
president of the
Blocks
200 West Block
He's had
Association.
ongoing issues with this place.
Yeah, they've had, I've gotten some emails from residents.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So this-
Okay, so we could hear from the community, Nellie?
I'll move them over.
Thank you.
So what are we doing here?
Hearing from the community member.
Yes.
Hi,
Hi, go ahead.
oh, sorry, I didn't know I was on. I actually am here impromptu because we were not notified, even though we asked for notification that they would go in front of the committee. We have not, seen street signs. We haven't really, and actually I was in contact with the manager and asked him to send us over their plans, which never happened. Now, my understanding is that this is being postponed, but I would like to put that, for the record that, again, this applicant is not really engaging with the community and just plays by his own rules. That's all I have to say.
The roadway, we are voting on the roadway tonight.
Not the
That is
sidewalk.
not being postponed. What, the Sidewalk Café will come up at a later meeting. But the roadway is being voted on tonight.
Okay, so this place has a history. I don't know how many of you walked by the location. They have always had such a strong presence that once you were on that block, you were basically inside of Lulu. They have a speak easy in the basement, which often has people lined up to get in, even sometimes at 1 a.m. They recently, yeah, Lulu. So it is in the basement where they have DJs and very often events. I have photographs, which I would have sent had I known, where the entire block was just basically a big line of people waiting to go downstairs. So that creates problems with, passage on 8th Avenue. They very recently had a corporate event in the shacks where the music was piped out. It was really loud, basically 50 people inside of those 3 shacks. I mean, they have not, been a good neighbor. Now they have engaged recently with the new manager. He would hear input and make certain adjustments, but this is very surprising. I asked him via message, iMessage personally to contact me with the plans. Once he has them, he promised he would do it. It did not happen. So we are not ready. We looked at the plans today a little bit. You see the blackboard behind me. I'm a math professor. I was just teaching and hopped on Zoom as soon as I was done. It looks like some of the measurements that don't match up. There is a parking sign on the road, which they did not include inside of their proposal. I mean, there are problems with this proposal.
By the way, I recognize the math on the board. That's how you get 18 inches on the table. You figured it out. Really interesting. Can I actually speak on this, or should we wait? I actually will back up Jasenko on these comments. I have found them to be also a pretty bad neighbor. The sidewalk is consistently jam-packed and they are always blasting music. This committee did approve that speakeasy below. I remember we had a long conversation about it. I remember that we said that we had them stipulate that they would have crowd control and that they would be, get people queuing inside, and they definitely have not done any of that. So if there's a chance to hold them accountable, this would be it.
Well, they've also been non-responsive on this application because they did not, Nellie asked them to submit a new STIP form covering the outdoor dining, which they did not do. I'm just not sure what our options are with DOT.
Just deny.
On what basis?
On the basis that they have not been responsive and that they have.
Well, they need to remove that
That they need to remove.
sidewalk obstruction.
Right.
Wait, this is only about the road.
This is roadway, and we also have somebody else from the community.
Okay, let's hear from the community first.
Deanna?
Thank you.
Can I say something along? I had a conversation with the 300 West 18th, 19th Block Association. And they are unhappy with this operator. And I said I would speak up if none of them could attend. I don't know if they're all busy, but I said I would speak up for them tonight. Lulu's not been good.
Nellie, did you have that, move that person over? Deanna?
I'm sorry.
Oh, there she is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, I want to back up one or two things that JGSteaks said. One thing about perhaps the parking sign, and I do understand, and then I put it when I put my application, when I signed up today, that I understand that this is for a roadway application, but I'm feeling it should be postponed until their Sidewalk Café situation is brought into compliance, because they have not. The 19th Street is 8 feet wide. Pardon me, 13 feet wide, and in order to make there has never been 8 feet worth of pedestrian clearance throughout that. I feel that one thing they could perhaps do is turn the chairs and tables so they go the other way, north-south, instead of the chairs back to the chairs facing the sidewalk. But also, and no notification was made to the community, either via email or by posted signs, which I thought was required. So I would ask that the roadway be put on hold until the other situation is addressed.
Thanks. Well, what we can't do is put the application on hold.
No.
And if you look at the information that the DOT will accept on the STIP form, and they've made clear to us we can't send them any other kind of STIPs or complaints or letters. It's all about the actual effect, the actual roadway dining, its effect on pedestrian flow, the setup and so forth. So I guess I'm open to suggestions on how we handle this.
What about the parking sign?
But that doesn't affect.
We measured all the obstructions and they're clear. There was a fire hydrant, there's a bike rack, not a bike rack, like a city bike rack, but like one of those circular bike racks.
Yeah.
They all clear.
Yeah, let's just finish this. So yes, the roadway dining is allowed in parking.
I have a question. I mean, so the Sidewalk Cafe is egregious. That's not what we were there for. We certainly let them know. It's enclosed. It's way too wide. There's no room to pass. So people probably need to walk out to the street to, pass if there are, multiple people on the sidewalk going in different directions. So the Roadway Cafe would prohibit that. Would prohibit people from stepping onto the street to pass the Sidewalk Cafe. I don't know if that's a loophole that we can try to.
So I guess the question, I take it, is there a consensus here? We want to try to find some way of denying this.
I mean, are they coming back for Sidewalk Cafe? Cause
They will be,
They will be, but we have to respond to this now.
but we have to
But also-
respond to DOT.
But we also can deny to the SLA, right? Yeah,
Well, if we're very on top of this, because the SLA has made clear they're gonna rubber stamp these once DOT approves them, they have to do it within 5 days or something.
right.
It's a very
But
short.
I think I'm reading the different categories here of the comments, right? So you can say physical footprint and dimension, we can say that's fine. But then pedestrian flow, major problem.
Yeah.
Because there is a sidewalk cafe and closed, etc. And it needs to be removed, right? Existing curb use, there is an enclosed sidewalk cafe, which is blocking the passage, right? Recommendation for the cafe setup, remove all the speakers and.
walls.
What?
The walls.
Yeah, remove the speakers, remove all those things that are, and remove the enormous amount of people which are on the sidewalk. And then modification related, so, could make, subject to, fixing the problems above. And so what we are saying is that these are all the problems, and then,
The roadway would be.
the roadway would be fine if all the other things were fixed.
On the sidewalk.
Right, the sidewalk cafe, the line, the queues, the speakers, all the things that everybody has said, and we just put it down. And it's denied because of those things, or deny unless or accept, I don't know how we do it. What we need to say in order to get called for the hearing?
So by itself,
Hold on, a roadway, there'll be an automatic here.
yeah.
All roadways have
Alright.
hearings.
So.
But again, you saw what happened today, we're just gonna
Yeah,
get to.
but that's fine, but then we can move it up to Eric Botcher, so that's the idea. Is putting all this to stick against the wall and then,
Has anybody in those block associations done 311s? Because you and I have had a bunch of sidewalk things removed.
Yeah, DOT seems to be
311.
responsive on these enclosed sidewalk
We
cafes.
Citizens is now.
Oh,
we've been
enclosed
tag teaming and we're
and
giving
closed
them.
sidewalk cafe is a big deal, so we can
They
put it
come.
there.
If you call 311 or
Absolutely.
online.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do. But I have a question. These sidewalk cafes, are they supposed to be taken down by a certain time?
Yes.
If they're
No.
Applying?
No.
Sidewalk,
They are fine.
sidewalk cafes, if they had temporary open restaurants, and if they applied for permanent outdoor dining by August of last year, they can keep up this sidewalk cafe until they get approved or denied for the
But what if they
permanent.
never did that?
What?
What if they never applied?
Then
for
it should be
that?
gone.
But I think they did, we have a list, I'm pretty sure they applied.
Yeah, we circulated the list, you can.
No, we didn't get it.
We never got a list.
We never got it.
Natalie,
I
could you
asked for
send
it.
that list around again?
We asked and, yeah.
Okay.
Nelly, so you could look at that and you will see whether people have applied or not.
Right.
If they have not applied, you can just pick up the phone, do 311 and say
Right.
illegal cafe,
Right.
boom.
Boom.
Frank, can I ask one more question, just to clarify?
All right.
Because I know I asked it about merchants as well, but there was no notification, and I think you told me that that's
Oh,
not
that's
necessary.
important.
You said it's not necessary for roadway cafes or sidewalk cafes? That they do
What? I
not
didn't
need?
say-
Sidewalks.
No,
No, I just said the applicant did not respond to Nellie at all when she asked them to give notification and fill out a step form.
Right, no, sorry, I meant as a general rule. Do they need to notify the community if they're applying for a roadway cafe?
Signs up.
Do they
Only-
need to put
only
up
by-
signs?
Sorry, one at a time. Only via us.
Okay,
They need to notify the community. The way this works is what they need to do is file with the DOT. The DOT looks at it and sends it to us. Then it's up to the community board to get any kind of notice out there, but there's no independent notice requirement in the regulations beyond telling the community board and elected officials.
It's
So
not like.
no signs required, no.
No,
Oh,
sign.
no,
Okay.
the SLA doesn't even require signs.
Okay,
We are the ones who require the signs, and then the SLA is, does not look kindly on applicants that ignore all of the community board requests. But
thank you.
again, none of this comes from the agencies. The actual legal duties are quite limited. And in this case, it's only it's all that has to happen is they file with DOT sends the application to us. And what happened here was Nellie sent out the usual request to fill out a STIP form and put up the signs and send out emails, and evidently they just didn't do any of that.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
So I think that's,
So what is our resolution?
well, I
Well,
think our,
Christie,
yeah, resolution is denied because all of
we'll
those.
try to cram this into the
And
categories.
then we want to try to send it to somebody else.
Pam, right?
Oh, Pam.
But she's gonna-
Pam Wolf?
Gonna repeat what we said.
Right,
Pam.
still.
Now, could you bring Pam Wolf in?
Pam, love you, but do it. Let's go home.
So hi,
Hi,
I
Pam.
just wanted, okay, may I speak? Just
Go ahead.
wanted to thank this committee for the clear struggle that you're having to be as helpful as possible with this, and very grateful. My Block Association is very grateful for all of the effort you're putting into it. Thank you. Lulu's has been a sore spot for a long time, and they really need to learn how to clean up their act in order to get approval for this kind of thing. We did not indeed see any signage. I did not. And I try to keep a pretty close eye out for the things of that sort. So thank you.
Thanks, Pam.
Okay, so
Okay.
we have
We
a
need to
motion,
vote, yeah.
Yes.
motion, second. Right.
All in favor? Opposed? President,
So just to be clear, I think we should recommend denial for all these reasons.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I agree.
Okay, moving along, 314 West 58th Street, Broad Notch Bagel. This is another roadway.
Right, I think this was Ted and Tina.
Yeah. I mean, the drawing was not really easy to read because it's a little bit, some of the reads are wrong, but the only comment that we had, I actually went there and measured. And the amount of spaces there was correct. We were just curious a little bit because at that time I thought the roadway barriers had to be 1 foot and 6 inches, which I found out to be they're only 4 inches wide, they need to be. So our only concern was that they were only gonna have 11 foot 5 inches for the area, and each table is about 32 inches, it says, which would be 6 feet. So that would be a very tiny place, so I think everything there looks good, we're just saying that they might wanna consider smaller tables, even the ones in the pictures that they had looked like 2 feet now, almost 3 feet wide.
Is Nellie is the applicant here?
Really good. I have a question.
No, the applicant is not here.
Okay.
Cause you have 3 tables, basically, that's 9 feet, and then you have 2 feet left. And that doesn't really give a lot of room for people to do that now.
But it would be nice if the tables were smaller and they could fit.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say that this business is a very friendly business to the neighborhood. So I would like to not restrict them too much if there's any possibility of keeping.
I mean, that was just a comment for a suggestion for them, I don't think that would sway them to say less.
Well, can someone, do you know them, Tina, or? Can you-
I have to say, we are their patron.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to suggest a conflict, all I was saying was, can we approve this and maybe you talk to
Yes.
them about
I'll be
possibly
happy.
having smaller tables?
Smaller table.
Yes.
I
I'll
just
be
have a
happy to
technical
talk to you.
question,
Yeah.
technical question, it looks like the the space for the roadway is wider than the front of the restaurant. Is
Yeah,
that
I
a
looked in.
perspective thing or?
I think when you look inside the actual inside of the business jets, actually right up to the edge of the staircase. It looks like it's about 2 feet wider than what they have.
That's what it is.
And they've been using that space. I mean, there are plastic containers are there. It goes up to the railing. They've been using the space that goes.
I don't know what the railing is. You're giving me details which are beyond me.
All right.
But, okay.
Yes, but
So
I'm
let's,
happy.
so are you suggesting we approve it as is?
I think we should approve it.
We'll talk to them.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm cold.
It's beautiful here.
Shut the heat
It's
off.
freezing.
You are.
Okay, Nellie, anyone from the community?
No, there's no one.
Okay.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
And they didn't send, wait, but they didn't send the tips.
They don't have a liquor license.
Oh. Right. So.
All in favor, opposed, person not eligible, abstained, okay? 340 West 46th Street, they revised, again a roadway.
Okay, so this is one I looked at, it's a roadway on Restaurant Row. The only potential issue was that this is, in, you know, one of those typical Restaurant Row buildings that is a residential building with a stoop and a staircase and the restaurant on the ground floor. They want their roadway to extend, across the residential entranceway. I talked to the owner who told me that he owns the whole building and that the restaurant does in fact inside extend under the stoop, behind the stoop. And Christine and I talked to the DOT about this previously, and they said, as long as the restaurant inside occupies the space, they can have the roadway in the front.
And the applicant is here.
So I think
Yes.
the plans are okay, but let's hear from the applicant.
Bonsoir. See everyone. Yes. Bonsoir. Bonjour. How are you?
So.
Oh, yes.
What I say was correct.
So, just so everybody knows, I am the third chef and owner of Le Rivage, and I've only been there 40 years. So only, yes. My intention is only to contribute to the block, to Restaurant Row. I don't, we are more of an upper scale restaurant. Our intent is not to do noise or anything like that. It's really, I just want the space to make sure that it's beautiful, that it beautifies the frontage and the block, and just as long as it just brings positivity to the block, that's all I really want to do. I don't think I have much room to put a lot of tables, to be honest. And we're not applying for sidewalk because the sidewalks are already small. And like I said, we've been there for decades. I mean, like I said, I've been there 40 years, and the restaurant's been there long before I was. So, we're as quiet as a mouse.
Okay. Nellie, anyone from the community?
No, there's no one.
Okay.
Anyone, any more
Any
here?
more comments?
I have a question.
Christine?
So the drawing, what is this little thing in the
I'm
upper
gonna go
left
to that.
corner?
That's a manhole.
That's what I thought.
It's a manhole with a circle, and they're
Oh.
showing the 2-foot clearance.
Got it.
And they're showing that
Got it.
the shed will be carved out around it.
Okay. Motion, do I hear?
Yes. Motion.
All in favor? Person not eligible? Abstaining, opposed? Okay. Moving along 46th Street, 364 West 46th Street.
Someone has their hand up.
Oh.
No, that's the applicant.
That's the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye-bye.
364 West 46th Street, Hold Fast, again roadway. This one is 6 tables, 12 seats.
So this is another one, same situation. They want the roadway to go in front of the residential door. This one I was actually able to go inside, so I could confirm that the restaurant does extend under the stoop. Is the applicant here, Nellie?
No,
Okay, so the only issue is they haven't done a new STIP form. Are you taking you asked them for it?
yes, I did. They didn't acknowledge my email.
Okay, can you follow up and try to get it? Because this place, unlike Lulu's, has actually been pretty community friendly, and when they've come to change their liquor license, they've in the past had a lot of community support, so. Can you follow up and tell them we're gonna need a new STIP form?
I will reach out again.
Okay, thank you.
Are we going to communicate to them that they can't do what they have done here, which is go all around the trees and?
And onto the sidewalk.
Right. I mean, the design they have currently.
Well, I mean,
is
all of
totally
this,
non-compliant.
right, but all of this is in the rules. I mean, at some point, you know, we could reiterate all the rules, and if they were here, we tell them.
Okay.
I think we have to.
I got it.
Yeah.
Motion
Yeah,
So
hold
what
on.
is the motion?
to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
But Nellie, let's try to get,
Not eligible?
let's try to get the new STIP form before we send it in.
If we don't get a steep form, is our recourse?
I guess to deny it, but
But
on what
our STIP
basis?
form, right, doesn't count for the DOT.
No, I know. So it's not like there are all sorts of problems there as with Lulu. I mean, as I said, they have been community spirited in the past. Mike Kelly used to represent them, but evidently they didn't bother to they didn't get a lawyer for this. So Nellie, why don't you just try to follow up hard with them, maybe even try calling them, and let's see if you can figure out what's going on. If you want me to get involved, I'm happy to.
Okay.
I tried to call them once and their phone was literally off the hook for about an hour, so they've been.
Okay. All right. Did we vote?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
think we did fine.
All right.
Okay. Number 20, 302 West 51st Street, Dolly Varden, again a roadway.
I think this was a Ted one.
Yeah, I went to that one. All the measurements were fine. The only thing that we were questioning is the tables, because we have 3 drawing tables. So we were just curious what the size of the tables were. Because there wouldn't, depending on how big they are, they will have no aisle, serving on.
Nellie, is Brian Connell here? Yeah, yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Frank. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, so I think the approach,
Go ahead, Brian.
I think the approach from the company we hired to do the plans, maybe we should have hired Steve Wagoda, but anyway. They just got the biggest tables in there that they could, but we've already talked about this. We understand now that we have to have service from within the roadway space, so those tables won't be as big as they appear on that. In fact, I think we'll probably have 4 top tables instead of 2 tops. Sorry, pardon me. We'll have 2 top tables instead of each of the 6 top tables that are there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we
Send a new drawing.
Well, no, we have to get this into the DOT tomorrow.
We can just cross off one row.
Can we cross out one row of tables to leave you with 2 top, 4 tops across the way, or?
Yes.
You agree to that? Okay.
Okay, great. We need to get this to DOT tomorrow.
Excellent.
Okay, so we can tell the DOT that you've agreed to that change, correct?
Yes.
Brian? Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Okay.
Anybody from the community now?
No, there's no one.
I hear a motion.
Motion.
All those in favor, opposed, present not eligible, abstaining. Okay, moving along. 701 9th Avenue, Moms Midtown, again, roadway.
So this is another one Ted and I looked at, and it's also another of Brian's establishments. This one will be looking for a Sidewalk Café as well, but we've not gotten them from the DOT yet. So the only issue is the roadway. Brian, it looks like we have the same issue. Are you gonna reduce these to, you're gonna eliminate one row of tables here as well?
Yes.
Okay,
This is Brian.
yeah, so we'll eliminate, 2 tables for 2, that'll leave you with 6 tables for 2 seats each, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we'll tell the DOT you agree to that. Ted, did you have anything else? Okay, and again, Brian, sorry, the way the DOT is operating, this is only the roadway. When we get the Sidewalk Cafe from DOT, we'll have you come back. Sorry to make you make 2 visits, but that's the way it's going.
I understand.
Okay?
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Last item on the agenda,
Motion.
oh, I forgot that. Second.
Second.
All those
No,
in
Nelly asked about.
What?
There's
Nobody.
opposed, present not eligible, abstaining. Okay, last item on the agenda, number 22. 801 9th Avenue, Norma Roadway. As Frank said, a big one. They want 14 tables, 28 seats. Is the applicant here?
Hi, yes, my name is Andy. I'm filling in for Mr. Sam Park. He had to attend another committee board meeting. I'm the representative. And here the roadway will be 32 feet by 7 feet, and we're looking to put 14 tables, 2 seats each.
Is Andrew Goldstein with you? Sorry.
No, Andrew goes, this is the applicant. Andrew's gonna want to speak. He's a community.
Oh, community member, sorry. Okay.
So Ted, I mean, I believe there are a lot of issues here unrelated to the roadway. Which I think we'll hear from Andrew Goldstein about, including that they have an enclosed sidewalk cafe. And there are a lot of obstructions on the sidewalk.
It doesn't have the clearance on 9th Avenue, only
Yeah, but again, this
Yeah, but that's not-
this is only about the
right,
roadway.
This is next.
So, your client's current sidewalk cafe is enclosed, which they don't have a permit for an enclosed sidewalk cafe.
It's not enclosed right now.
It was enclosed
5
last we
minutes
looked.
ago.
I think it was enclosed today, I think. We'll hear from a community member, I think.
You walk by, was enclosed. Yeah, we have
So in other words, you can't, on a sidewalk cafe, you cannot have any
walls.
plexiglass walls or anything like that. And this does. We have a lot of pictures of it.
Okay, that's something that I'll have to speak to the client about. I was not aware of that because the last time I went to take the pictures, he did not have the enclosed sidewalk. So I think there was a misunderstanding where he thought if he applied with the dining out, he could do the enclosed sidewalk. But I did mention to him that that's not allowed. There's no enclosed sidewalk allowed, and I think I'll have to repeat that and make sure he understands.
Repeat it loudly.
Yes.
But he said there was none.
No, he
You
said there was
pictured
a floor, he told him to remove it. He thought it was removed and now it's back again.
Okay, and then the other thing is there are a lot of, that's a very narrow sidewalk. And your client has a lot of planters and things outside the sidewalk cafe. So in addition to being enclosed, there's all this stuff that is not part of the sidewalk cafe, but are obstructions that your client is putting on the sidewalk. So you should not have anything on the sidewalk besides the tables and chairs.
Right. I think his idea was to use the planters as some sort of barrier for the sidewalk cafe, but I think the planters are way too wide. So we're going to probably remove those planters.
Right. If he wants to use the planters, they have to be within the footprint of the sidewalk cafe. And again, we don't, as you heard from the prior applicant, this is only about the roadway. We don't have this sidewalk cafe application, and just looking at it, there are going to be issues with it because, but we can, we'll talk about that when it comes up, but this is only the roadway. The other thing with the roadway design, could you tell him he has to make sure that his new shed complies with all the DOT design requirements?
Yes.
Because the old one, if you look at the pictures, the roof extends over the sidewalk, which you can't do that. The roof now can only be above the roadway shed. the sidewalls can only be of a certain height. There are a lot of design things he's not doing. The electrical wires have to be 15 feet above the sidewalk. So you have to make sure, and on the form, he said he'd do all that, but you just have to make sure he will actually do all that.
Yes, I completely agree with that. This sidewalk actually existed before the dining out came out. So now that it's gone, when he resets up the dining roadway shed, I believe sometime in April, he's going to comply with the new regulations that dining out has proposed.
Okay, so the design of the shed, the roof, where the electrical wires have to be, all of that, he'll keep the new rules in mind.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Anybody else on the committee, comments? Nellie, we have Andrew Goldstein, can you bring him in?
Hi, maybe it'd be possible to let me, since this is the last topic, to not get sent out to exile for a second. I have a lot of stuff I'd like to say. Some of it I don't think you actually know. So the first thing I wanted to say is I don't believe that the owners of the establishment know what the rules are that they're supposed to follow. I don't believe they knew it during the pandemic, based upon the current state of the outside where we have plants and we have the giant orange barriers blocking the 8-foot sidewalk right now to get from the corner of 53rd Street and 9th Avenue to 10th Avenue. We have less than 8 feet right now. The Sidewalk Café is enclosed. It's had a roof since they built it, right? Which was in October or November. They didn't take down their outdoor shed that was supposed to be down by, I think, by November 29th until about mid to late December. After the block association and elected politicians had to get involved to get them to move it. I'd like to, I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours and waiting 3 years to actually be able to say anything. So I appreciate your time and I'll try to be short and to the point. So the first thing I just wanted to clarify with Christine. So Christine, the block at the end of the street, we have the elementary school or the middle school, the Adolph Oak School. So traditionally, our street has had no parking on either side during the day. There is parking available at night and on the weekends. So is that 100% eligible for the street shed structures? Yes. Okay, so I'll stop right there. The no parking sign that was taken down during the pandemic, and that street sign was part of the shed of Norma's. They basically took the green pole and just embedded it in the front of their shed like the pole, right? That green sign now has a no parking sign because as soon as they took down the shed, I filled in a 311 and requested that the sign get put back up. It was put back up on February 5th. I noticed it's on the drawing, but basically it looks like it's a little bit in from the shed. So like basically people are going to be able to park on the street. So I guess what I'm wondering is there any possibility of moving the no parking signs around just so where the shed is, they can have the shed, but you can't park next to it if you couldn't park before? That's my first question. Is that a possibility or not really?
He's saying when they build the shed, it's going to be around the sign again instead of obstruct the sign, which will prevent people from seeing the sign to park elsewhere on the block.
Oh, we can ask for that, yeah.
Is that us or him or?
No, we can ask for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Or we probably wait until the shed goes up.
Yeah, send us an email with a request.
Okay. So then the next thing I really wanted to talk about was the 8-foot clearance, right? So as was already spoken, there's plants, there's planters that are blocking the bike. Sorry.
Excuse me. Is this about the Sidewalk Cafe? Because that's not what's before us now.
Well, in order to get to the Roadway Cafe from the corner, I have to walk on the sidewalk to get there. And walking there on the left, I have a bike rack that has plants against it, and there's no room to walk to the shed from the corner of 53rd and 9th. That's my point, right? Also, the shed they had before the pandemic, to the left of the shed, they had a double busing station that was outside the shed on the sidewalk between the shed and the bike rack, right? So you couldn't cut through ever, like the corner, right, to get just to the bit of the sidewalk that I needed to get onto my house in front of their shed. So basically, yep.
Andrew, another thing you can do is send us a request to move the bike racks, to install the bike racks in the roadway, so it's not on the sidewalk.
Okay, well, I followed a 311 about the plants and the bike rack being blocked, and DOT said it wasn't their responsibility, right?
Oh, that's sanitation.
Okay, Jesse didn't know whose responsibility it was, but okay. But the plants that are on the sidewalk blocking the way to the shed, can they be removed?
Yes, they can be removed, and I think we will be removing them because, like as I mentioned before, they are a bit too wide to be used as a barrier, so they'll just be removed.
Thank you. And then just to reiterate what Frank had said, the new dining structure in the street, it will not touch the tree bed or be over on the other side of the curb by the sidewalk. Is that correct?
Okay, so it won't touch the tree bed, but what was the second part? I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Will the roof or any part of the structure be over the sidewalk?
No,
like your old shed? Okay, great. I just wanted to mention that the waiters for the shed have to come out of the front of the building, right? Past the enclosed Sidewalk Cafe, across 9th Avenue, down through the 8-foot walkway that's already kind of crowded to get to the shed. Also, behind the shed is where they have their kitchen come out of the ground and where there's silver dumpsters against my building. So I've lived at 401 West 53rd since 1991, right? Which is right next door to their establishment. So basically they have a ton of plants that are also by the garbage cans, by the where they go down into their basement, and they also store tables and chairs outside. So I'd love to see everything, right, being either inside of the shed, inside of a Sidewalk Cafe perimeter, or out of sight and not on the sidewalk anywhere. Right? Is that?
Yeah, which is what the law is. So Andy, as you're hearing, we have a community member who lives in this building who's very unhappy. And you're going to be coming back to us in, I don't know, next month or the month after with the Sidewalk Cafe. But can you make sure all this stuff, gets taken care of between?
Obviously.
Right
definitely.
Because if we hear these same problems next month, it's not going to be a good situation.
Okay.
It's primarily, Andy, it's primarily adhering to the rules and the regulations. And it seems like they're not doing that.
That's the gist of it. I have a couple other things that are worth mentioning, right? So next to the shed, they have the orange barrier, right? They've had employees park their bikes.
Okay, so Andrew, not to interrupt, I'm almost certain the orange barriers are not the restaurant.
That's
so we
fine.
just have to figure out how to get rid of them. They're those abandoned.
No, they were part of that.
They were part of the.
They were part of that. They were part of
the
the protection.
protection.
During
Okay.
the COVID, and when they closed, they should have removed the barricade.
Okay. Wow. Then they didn't do that either.
That's Andy. You go to the cleanup.
Will you get them to remove the orange barricades?
Yes. If it's not part of the shed, I will have them remove that orange barrier.
Well, the shed is gone. They just got left behind.
They just left their garbage. The restaurant.
The shed should be gone. If it's not gone, it's illegal.
Yeah, the shed is gone. It's gone. Just the garbage is there.
A couple of those orange.
Right. And they were
And
part of
plants
the
and
time.
garbage.
They had put that in form to protect.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that next to the shed, they parked some people had parked motorcycles that maybe didn't belong to the restaurant, right? That we had taken away by the police. But then some of the workers at the restaurant parked electric bikes there. One of them plugged in to the roof of the shed. Then another time they plugged into the downstairs. I pointed it out to one of the waiters, and the waiter is generally very nice, Ulysses, right? And usually denies what happens. But this time I actually saw the employee do it, and he went and took care of it, right? But other people are parking there, and I just want to say it doesn't seem like a good place to park next to a shed, right? Forgetting about the
shed's gone now.
The shed is
yeah,
gone.
but where you're having this meeting about the new roadway shed, right? So for the new one, right, no one should park. The employees should not be parking their bikes, right, or their vehicles next to the shed.
Well, they shouldn't be plugging in the shed.
Definitely not.
Right.
They could park there so that they don't park on the sidewalk, because if they don't park down there on the roadway, they're going to park on the sidewalk, right?
Right.
So, I mean, we totally agree with you that plugging it through the shed electricity is not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was a one time, but I was just like, if that caught fire, my building could catch fire, So just like in a nutshell, I think you guys get where I'm coming from. I will just say this, that even to
Get what you say.
So, Andy, these are the steps we're gonna have, which I think we've agreed to all of them. That the applicant will remove all enclosures around the current Sidewalk Cafe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, applicant will adhere to all design requirements of the DOT permanent dining out program for the roadway.
Okay.
Okay, applicant will remove all planters and other sidewalk obstructions.
Okay. Yes.
Barriers.
Now, the separate one, applicant will remove the orange barriers left over from the former roadway shed.
Yes. Okay.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we are going to approve the
Yes.
With all these stipulations.
And again, this is only the roadway.
Right, so.
We'll see you in.
Okay, but Andy, we're serious. This person who just spoke is gonna be looking at this every day, so try to get these problems cleared up as soon as if you can.
Before you apply for new.
After this meeting, I'll have it done. Most likely it'll be
Okay.
done by this weekend.
Okay, motion
Subject
Motion.
approved.
subject to Andy
All the
spending the next
stipulations.
15 days here.
Okay. Opposed, present not eligible, abstaining.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you, everybody.
To adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
9:09 p.m.
Hey,
Carrie, give me a call, Carrie.
Would you?
Tonight, Mike? No, I can't. I'm too
No,
tired.
tomorrow sometime.
I can try. Thanks for, okay, bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for all the,
Cheers,
to all the
bye.
members,
Stay warm.
all the tape measure people, thank you. It's like we're